we had discussed vestigial organs. We had discussed how the vestigial organs are in different stages of development and all that. Today, students, let me clear, we'll be discussing some important paragraph, that is your some important paragraph which is called as connecting link. Now, what is this connecting link here? Connecting link, if you observe a typical animal which is called peripatus, get my words up, try to understand what I want to say. I'll give you an example, that is peripatus. Peripatus has open circulatory system, it has open circulatory system and trachea, open trachea and circulatory system like arthropods, but it has segmental nephridia, segmental body असते, thin cuticle असते, and it has parapodia, means falls, small छोटे छोटे पाय असतात त्याला. It has parapodia like legs which are called as appendages. हे दोन्ही कॅरेक्टर्स त्याच्यात दिसतात, which are few the characters of arthropoda and few characters of annelida. Such animal, that is peripatus, can be called as a connecting link, means which shows the partly the characters of phylum annelida and phylum arthropoda. I'll repeat what I said again. There are certain animals surrounding you, there are certain animals which can be regarded as connecting links. Example, peripatus. Peripatus has segmental body, segment कसे अर्थवर्मचे कसे असतात तसे, ring structure. It has segmental body, it has thin cuticle and it has small little legs which are called as ते centipede and millipedes वर असतात तसे. Has parapodia like appendages as in annelida. Similarly, on the other hand, it has trachea and open circulatory system like arthropods. Hence, peripatus is such an animal which shows the character of both partly annelida and partly arthropoda. Hence, it is called as the connecting link between annelida and arthropoda. Example number 1. Example number 2. Duck-billed platypus. Duck-billed platypus. मुलांनो, हे platypus असा animal आहे ना, it lays eggs. Platypus, duck-billed, कसं आपल्या डकला कसं तोंड असतं ना तसं. So duck-billed platypus lays eggs like reptiles, but it has hair on the body and mammary glands like mammals. Correct? Means it is a connecting link, or it exhibits two types of characters, few characters of reptiles, few characters of mammals. Are you okay? This is what is we'll put here like this. This is one more example. I'll repeat. Duck-billed platypus lays eggs like reptiles but has hair and mammary glands like mammals, which shows that duck-billed platypus shows characters of both the phyla, that is reptiles classes, that is reptiles and mammals. Hence, it is called as a connecting link between reptiles and mammals. Third example, lungfish. Student, lungfish has lungs, means it respires through lungs, no doubt. Though a fish, lungfish is a fish, but it performs respiration through lungs, means it shows that it is a connecting link between amphibians and fishes. I repeat, lungfish is a fish, no doubt about that, but it performs respiration through lungs, and therefore it is called as a lungfish, meaning it is structurally intermediate between amphibians and fishes. That's it. कळतं? ह्या 3 examples ने तुम्ही काय शिकता? You learn that mammals have been evolved from reptiles. From where did mammals come? They have been evolved from reptiles. Not only that, we also conclude that amphibians have been evolved from fishes. This connecting link gives us the example. That is, mammals have been evolved from reptiles and the amphibians have been evolved from fishes. Similarly, there is a strong connecting link between arthropoda and annelida. Students fill in the blank. What are connecting links? असा क्वेश्चन येतो. मग तुम्हाला ते एक्झाम्पल्स द्यायचे. You should give the examples of peripatus, duck-billed platypus and lungfish to give the answer. It's an important paragraph. Next we will move to something called as embryological evidence. We have discussed morphology, we have discussed paleontology, we have discussed carbon dating. Now we will discuss something called as embryology. Students, you compare the embryos of all vertebrates. Please don't include the invertebrates. You compare the embryos of all the vertebrates. Example, a pig, which is called hog, chicken, fish, salamander, human beings, cattle. You compare the embryo of all these vertebrates, salamander, fish, cattle, chicken, human beings. When you compare the embryo of all these, it is observed that in their primitive stage of embryonic development, the embryos of all these animals, pig, chicken, rabbit, human beings, cattle, salamander, यांचे सगळ्यांचे embryo जर बघाल in the primitive stage, all are same. What does it say? That all these animals, all these vertebrates, that is human beings, cattle, rabbit, tortoise, your chicken, your hog, that is pig, all they had a common ancestry. That is what is the embryological evidence. Means when you compare the embryos of all these particular vertebrates, human beings, rabbit, tortoise, you have chicken, you have cattle, you have salamander, you have fishes. When you compare all of them, in their initial stages, all are same. This is called as embryological evidence. Come to the next. Students, Darwin's theory of natural selection. Now, what did Darwin say? मुलांनो ऐका. Darwin wrote a book which was called as Origin of Species. Second point, he studied various specimens of plants and animals. Various thousands of specimens of plants and animals. Point number 2. Third point, he used the principle of natural selection and proposed his theory, which is called survival of the fittest. Baga, Charles Darwin, what did he do? He wrote a book which was called as Origin of Species. How? By studying the specimens of various plants and animals. He used what principle? Principle of natural selection. And he wrote the theory of survival of fittest. Correct? Students, what does it say? His survival of fittest is what? Students, easy hai? What is that? Point number 1, survival of fittest. What is that? Students, point number 1 says that, all the organisms, if you compare the plants and the animals, they reproduce prolifically. Now, what is the meaning of prolifically? In large numbers. Correct? Now, all the organisms reproduce in very large numbers. Once the organisms are born, there is competition among the existing organisms for survival. Those who are fit enough will survive. Others die. Those fit species, तिकडे त्यांची struggle थांबत नाही. The struggle of the fit organism does not end there. Then nature has its role to play. Nature selects only those fit species. Students, nature selects only those fit species which modify themselves as per the nature. And those species only will survive, remaining all will perish. Correct? That is the reason. And this fit species which even nature has, which even have modified themselves as per the changing nature, only those will survive and they will reproduce, producing a new species. असे जुने species, जुने characters त्यांच्या दिसणारे, they will reproduce, producing a new species. And that is what is called as Darwin's theory of natural, म्हणजे nature selects and the fittest will survive. कळतंय? हे अशी त्याची थिअरी आहे. आय रिपीट, Charles Darwin wrote a book called as Origin of Species, where he used the principle of natural selection and he considered the criteria of survival of the fittest. According to him, organisms reproduce prolifically, म्हणजे in large numbers. Then there comes the struggle for competition among the organisms for existence. Those who are fit enough will survive. The fit species are then again subjected to nature's selection. Nature will select those fit species only which have brought modifications in them as per the changing nature. And then these species who nature has selected reproduce and generate new species. This is called the theory of natural selection and survival of fittest. Point number 1. आता naturally Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, students, for a long period it was well accepted, but it was discarded. There were questions proposed or questions faced even by Charles Darwin. How? First, is it that only nature selects the organisms and only those organisms survive? It's not so. It's not that only nature is the factor for the survival. There are so many other factors which make them survive. First point. Second point is that, students, some changes are very slow as per the generations and generations. Some changes are slow and some changes are abrupt. Abrupt means which take place accidentally. His slow and abrupt changes could not be explained by the Darwin's theory. ठीक है. Second, students, he did not explain even the some changes which were brought about in the organism were useful and some changes were useless. He could not explain even the useful and the useless changes. कळतं? म्हणजे Charles Darwin also met with criticism. First, nature is not the only factor which is responsible for survival of the species. Second, some changes are useful, some changes are useless. Useful and useless changes could not be explained by Darwin. Third, some changes takes place slowly in the body and some changes takes place abruptly, suddenly. This changes, slow and abrupt changes could not be explained by Darwin. Students, let me clear here, but still till today his theory of natural selection, his theory of evolution has given a huge demand and a huge respect. ठीक है? This is Charles Darwin's theory. Are you okay now? Now enter into Lamarck. Students, he was a Jean Baptist. He was a Baptist, you understand? Father from your school, Villagre school मध्ये father कशाचा? Baptist. So, Jean Lamarck, we are not considering the religion and all here, we will study what he has done. Lamarck used his different criteria, the principle of useful and useless organs for survival of the organism. So, Lamarck said that the changes brought about in the living organisms during its lifetime, it depends upon how active or how lazy is the organism. The principle of use and disuse of organs was the main criteria of Lamarck. Now, what is this principle of use and disuse of organs? What is the organism being lazy and organism being active? To explain that, what did he do? He considered some examples which you have observed in your, even I can say that some observations you have done in your lifetime. For example, a blacksmith or an ironsmith, his shoulders are very strong. Why? Because he has to hammer continuously. So they did not go to gym and develop bicep, tricep, whatever. They develop they have natural strong shoulders. Reason? Because they have to continuously hammer. First. Second, it is said that giraffe stretched its tail long. Why? Because it was very much curious to eat the tender leaves of the trees. आता ट्रीजचे लीव्स नाही, टेंडर लीव्स, नाजूक पानं खायचं त्याला शॉक होता, and therefore it started stretching, and that stretching took place over generations, which led to the elongation of the neck of giraffe. Example number 2 students. Example number 3. Students will put it like this. एक तो giraffe, one more is blacksmith. Lamarckism, like we'll put it like this. Ostrich and emu, their feathers are very weak. Why? Because they don't fly. They being birds. Ostrich and emu being birds, they are unable to fly because they have never attempted to fly because of weak wings. Next, duck and swan. They are also birds, but they have very powerful legs, and these legs help them to swim through water. Okay, duck and swan are the birds which swim through water as they possess very strong legs, and this is how a organ is treated to be useful and organ is treated to be useless. This is called as the principle of use and disuse of organs. That's it. Karte students? So Lamarck used a different criteria for selection. He said that it's not the nature, it is the lifestyle of an organism, the activeness or laziness of the organism, the use or disuse of organs, which is called as the theory of Lamarckism. I have given you the example, stretching of neck of giraffe. Then the feet of birds like swan, duck and all that, they are very strong because they swim through water. Then ostrich and emu can't fly because they have weak wings, though they are birds. Ironsmith or blacksmith has very strong shoulders. He has to have strong shoulders because he had to continuously hammer. Because of the continuous job of hammering, he has to continuously, he should possess, they naturally have strong shoulders. That's it. Are you okay? For today I will stop. Students, the next period will be the last period of topic number 1. I will enter into science 1 now because I am worried that your terminals may be there. If they took the first unit test, you may be having terminals. So we will be starting with chronological order now. I will begin with the first topic itself. Okay? Bye for today.